Thanks everyone for joining the call here today. Just to introduce myself, my name is Jake Jevitz. I run our MSSP partner program here at Trend Micro, and joined today by the star of the show, Mr. Chris LaFleur, who is our senior global IR incident response program manager here at Trend. And today we're here to talk about unlocking threat detection and response using Vision One, our XDR platform. So Chris is going to dive into digital forensics and IR for your customers. And one of the things I get super excited about is that I hear from partners in the channel all day, every day, that they want to be the single hand to shake for their customers. We know that our partners have the strongest customer relationships out there, right? You all are the trusted advisors to your customer. And so what I'm excited about today, Chris, is hearing how our partners can either add or evolve what they're already offering to their customers. And when their customers are in their, kind of most uncertain and vulnerable state where they're feeling like maybe there's a breach in their environment or some anomalous activity going on, that their partners will either have a service to offer or know who to call if they need help. And so Trend is kind of evolved in this space to Vision One being a superior tool to provide threat detection and response, but also the IR piece. So excited to hear from you, Chris, in terms of the IR piece of Vision One today.
Yeah, thanks, Jake. Yeah, so what I want to try to touch on and showcase is two pieces. One is the digital forensics and IR functionality, and then the other piece, hopefully the message that comes through, is how you as a partner can basically capitalize on the ability of this, right? So you already have Trend Micro customers inside your own private ecosystems as partner managers and things like that. So when something goes bump in the night, the idea is that I can show you where these tools exist already. You could flip on a switch, and the idea is that you can capitalize on that, sell that IR capability, hopefully, to stay with you as a partner. You keep a customer, and you can show them that there's some capitalization that you can take place, add-on services, etc. So yeah. A little bit about me. My name's Chris LaFleur. I've been in IT for about 15 plus years now. I'm not even keeping count anymore. There was a time where I was counting those years. Now I don't even know anymore. I've ran the incident response team here at Trend Micro, and now I work as a program manager to enable partners. So if any of y'all that are on the call, you want to learn more on what Trend can do to enable you as an IR partner, please feel free to reach out and respond. I would definitely love to get in touch with y'all and go even deeper on enabling y'all with this software. All right, and there we go. All right, so the question is, today you hear about EDR tools and this and XDR and MXDR and all these other pieces and stuff. Vision One platform is an XDR tool, which plays really well for incident response style, because the one thing that you want to do inside of incident response is be able to investigate as much as possible. So the fact that we have a single platform to do that, and all the sensor data that is associated with it is natively driven from Trend directly. So our OT to network to cloud, email, and endpoint itself is all native built tools that just seamlessly work inside of Vision One itself. The other piece too is that we do add some third-party capabilities as well. But one of the advantages of being a fast incident responder is the fact that you can respond faster than the next guy, right? So trying to deploy third parties may not be in your best interest at the time unless the customer already has it tied in to somewhere in their network. But flipping a switch and adding a few credits here and there, all of a sudden you can unlock all of Vision One pretty rapidly, and you can utilize it. So this here is basically just showing the scope of what you're able to do. You can set up some playbooks, you can do forensics and incident response, and you can basically manage the entire life cycle inside of a single platform. All right, so one of the advantages of Trend is the fact that we play in just about every environment, every platform. We have automation, API integration. We probably support more versions of Windows than anybody else that's out there right now. We support Mac OS. And we definitely do. We are the leader in supporting as many flavors as Linux as possible. So that's one of the key pieces between us, also allowing us to jump from the cloud to virtual servers, data centers, containers, endpoints, etc., is a major player as well. Again, this is all native driven. We're not trying to like, hey, we're going to just take a couple logs from this event and we're going to say that we're doing cloud, right?
Yeah, Chris, I would imagine from a customer perspective there, knowing, being able to interact with that entire ecosystem there is really important. I think of, a lot of times I relate IR to almost like a house burglary, right? And my neighbors actually a year ago had a break-in at their house, and they said one of the things that was the most traumatizing to them was the fact that they did have cameras at the door and at the garage and at their door, and so they were able to see that people came in, but they had no visibility about what was touched, right? They knew what went missing for the most part, their big stuff, but they had no idea, did they go into this room, were they in my kid's room, what was going on, right? And that uncertainty led to a lot of trauma, right? They still aren't over it. And so I'd imagine from the customer perspective that having that view of their full ecosystem and looking at a tool like Vision One that doesn't just look at it as what was the point of intrusion, but whole picture of their environment, I would imagine that that would be really impactful for them.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's this very similar concept, right? We're not just looking at the potential entry point, but we're looking across the several different layers. Like, for example, there are cases where a threat actor, yeah, they may come in and they breach you. And now I'm not talking about like a ransomware game. Ransomware games are more smash and grab and destruction. But like if you deal with a sophisticated threat actor or someone that was, whenever the coin mining phase was going on, right? I could potentially abuse by breaching you somewhere and then moving laterally to abuse and put that coin miner somewhere else where you can't see it, right? Or turn around and get into your AWS or Azure environment and start abusing there, where all of a sudden now we're basically, me as a customer or the victim is essentially eating cloud cost services on something that I didn't even stand up myself. So yeah, it makes a huge difference. SOAR is not quite. So SOAR was supposed to be what XDR is, right? So like that was what SIM and everything. The problem with the SOAR operation is that it's expensive to set up and it's a little complicated. But if you can get a SOAR platform up and running, absolutely, why not? And also Vision One itself will tie into your SOAR platform as well. I'm pretty sure we tie in directly with Splunk, and there's other ones, and then with the APIs, you can build your own custom events and things like that, like response actions.
Yeah, and we've got our own flavor of our SOAR, right, with Vision One service provider as well. So for
Yes.
partners that are maturing within that area and they're looking for more of the modernized security operations solutions, definitely something that we have a solution that fits into.
And that integrates with, correct me, Jake, if I'm wrong, it integrates with like, what, 180 plus different vendors today,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, 180 and growing today. So
Yeah. So if y'all are looking for a SOAR option, hit up Jake. He's got something for you. All right. So standard in server workload protection, it's network security, system security, malware, and detection and response. Most of y'all that are on this call probably know this already. So I need to investigate now what, right? Like, all right, I got you, Chris. I need Vision One, but what exactly does that look like in Vision One, right? So I'm going to focus specifically outside of the workbench data, and I'm going to go into forensics artifacts and collection and things like that. So you can log into the Vision One portal of either your customer. If you have it set up where they're multi-tenancy with you, where your account is already in there, you can go in and switch business into their tenant. Basically, you can create a workspace, add endpoints, collect evidence, check it all inside of the workspace itself, and you can do it either remotely through Vision One, or you can download the package and you can execute it on hand. I will get here in a minute on showing y'all exactly what that looks like. I'm really excited. I did some pre-building, so I have some live demo to show y'all on what exactly that all entails. With the manual collection, again, it's to collect evidence from machines that don't have internet connection. So if you took an isolation standpoint on something, and essentially you still want to collect forensics from it, you can do it. So you can download it, put it on a USB drive, and transfer it over to that machine, right? And then pull the sample back, upload it to the Vision One console if you want, or you can look at it yourself. Just know that it's in a format of JSON today. On collection, it is encrypted, and you do require an account password that's tied to it to decrypt the data. Yeah. Also, whenever we're doing collection, we'll actually put in threat intelligence from our own grid and file census to determine whether or not something is suspicious, or whether or not the risk level should be high concerning anything like that. So note that there is some advantage of uploading it to the Vision One console, because we will do some preemptive review of the risk items on that evidence collected. All right. And that's just for the collection side. But what if we want to be faster, right? What if like my customer came in and read this article on some threat feed, or they read, who knows where they read it from, and they want to see more, or they're asking for you to investigate for them on their behalf, right? You can utilize the OS query functionality inside of Vision One. Again, I'm going to show you all how to access all this here in a minute. But the idea is that you can build custom queries to investigate certain events or certain IOCs, even if the sensor data wasn't there to begin with. So as soon as you deploy the sensor, you can immediately get data back. This right here is extremely useful inside of an investigation, because all of us on this call probably know that most deployments aren't 100% to begin with. And it's just the nature of IT world to begin with. So if you can deploy the agent onto the endpoint, you don't have to wait for telemetry. You can start asking it questions immediately. You can also do YARA scanning as well. So you can take a YARA rule, tell it what process you want it to tie into, right? And then execute it and get the information for yourself as well. The other advantage of this is it's all through credits. If you're part of the Trend Micro DFIR partner program, we have a way to where we supplement credits to you for you to use investigations, but even for your own customers as well. If you're not even doing it, they can easily just flip the switch on, and they're able to get credits immediately to do the trial base, right? If they have those abilities inside of it, if they didn't burn through their trial already. If you need credits, etc., contact Trend for the investigation. We'll work something out and figure it out from there, right? It also sets up pretty simple for you as a partner. They can go get credits. They can see pretty quickly what the billing it looks like, etc. And y'all can get like quotes out to them if they need it. All right. Let's go into the console. All right. So when you log into Vision One, this is what the console looks like. Let me just refresh, make sure I'm in the right one. All right. As an MSSP, just so y'all know, you can, if you're associated with multiple Vision One consoles, you can just switch business, and it will allow you to jump from one customer's instance to the next. So it keeps all the data separated that way, but it allows you some form of multi-tenancy. So what we're going to do is we're going to go to the X here for XDR threat investigation, and we're going to tie into forensics here. So forensics, you can see that I've got some testing queries, etc., that I'm using. So we're going to go ahead and open this, but I want to highlight something here. This kind of separates Trends Forensics app from others. If you notice, we have actual status of closed versus active. The reason why is that way we can say that, hey, at this time stamp, no one else was able to edit this data. So whatever timetables are created, whatever inquiries, investigations, etc., took place, it's going to be here, right? And then you can also see when the data is going to be deleted. So that way you can come and make sure that you collect your queries, collect whatever evidence, etc., that you need on behalf, right, of your customer to retain that status. What I like about it is the fact that you can close out an investigation and then it's sealed, essentially, right? You can't add any more data to it. So essentially you have something that's evidence sound in case you have to be brought in to testify or anything like that. So here I'm going to open up my current one, testing AI, which I was testing some AI queries to build, but I'm not going to demo that today. But you see I have my 2 endpoints. So I can come in here and I can click add endpoints, and I can add multiple endpoints that are inside my environment that I want to run investigations against, right? Whenever I do this, I can do the static collection like what I was showing earlier. So I can collect evidence, come in here, I can select what I want or what I don't need, etc. Put in a note on what I'm doing, and then turn around and send it off. So I'm gonna shoot it off just to do it, because why not? It won't be completed though by the time this webinar is done. Just so you know, it's not that fast that we're gonna complete it in like 5 minutes. But you can see like we have a process here. It's running right now. It's basically gonna execute, etc. So what I want to do is I can come in here though and actually look at this package of time and think of this as like a snapshot of time, right? We collected this evidence, and I can collect basic information: OS version, interface, addresses, volume information, system drive, environment, data, etc. I can also come in here and we collect the MFT file. So here you can actually dig in and look at records of when files were created. If you're suspicious of a certain time of something coming in, you can come in and set your custom period. So if I wanted to look at files that were created between the 12th and the 15th, I would apply it. And now I can see all the different items that showed up. What's really cool about this is you can right click on here and view execution context. And what this is going to do is it will take this MFT record and it's going to look at everything around it near this timeline to showcase it all in one location for you. So that way you can actually see what other files may be associated with this event itself. So that's just the file investigation site itself. So, and you can take, like, if you run into something, you can take it and you can just like add to the selected timeline, right? So we can add it, we can set the creation date as the piece and hit create. The next piece is running processes. So you can come in here and you can drill down into your individual running processes, find out who the details is, what's the domain, what was the service. So this right here, I could tell you just reading off of it, looks like it's terminal services, so likely RDP. File information, SVC host, services, yep, there you go. You see, remote desktop. Threads associated with it. The TCP data, so where am I listening at? Bytes in, bytes out. I'm looking at the local 3389. Any UDP data as well, UDP6 or TCP6 as well. Comes into use, you know, in case you were looking for a C2 that's injected in memory or something like that. Again, this is collecting a static piece, allows you to build that timeline itself. So I can come in here, select it, add the timeline, and set the creation or the exit time, right? So I'm just going to dump it into our timeline right now. You can pull the ARP table DNS, route tables, etc. Arm cache, which is really nice to have if you're investigating, or even your shim cache. You come in here and actually look at the hashes associated with it. And then you could right click on these as well, do the view execution, and it will pull other data around that timeline. If you have SRUM enabled and set up inside your environments, it will collect that data as well. Users and user group. This one here comes in handy whenever you're investigating an endpoint specifically, because like your endpoint person's like, oh no, I totally did not click on whatever might have brought in, right? You actually have the browser data collected here, and we'll tell you which browser history it's coming from. So if it's Chrome, Firefox, or Edge, along with the shell bags to go with it if they're there. The only piece that we don't visualize inside of here is the registry and event logs, because there's just so much data associated with it, and the structure on how Windows handles those to begin with is just really hard to do on a website. So you can download the raw data, and when you click download, it's going to create an archive password for you, and then you could just proceed to download it as normal. Okay. That's one piece, and that's just the static stuff. Find proof for the trend microfilers that clients will need it. Absolutely. You definitely are going to need EDR of some sort, or XDR of some sort, definitely next year to get cyber insurance. That is going to be if you're not going to get EDR, XDR, you might still be able to get cyber insurance, but the cost prohibitiveness of it is going to be extremely high. So I would advise anybody that's looking at cyber insurance to make sure that they're doing XDR, and to showcase what you can do with it. And I would say spend some time with your underwriting companies as well.
Jason, FYI, I'll follow up with you in terms of documentation for proof to your clients there, and get you the right stuff. There's going to be a contact form at the end, so just let me know, or we'll work together to get you that information.
There we go. Perfect.
Chris, with 5 minutes left, I just wanted to make you aware of the timing.
Oh
here.
man, already?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just glance over real quick. I did a simple review of just looking at OS query real quick. All I did was just look up the process ID, just pulling OS query data from the users directory. So all I did was just ask, hey, what process is running from the user directory? And I got a hit from Windows DC and notepad.exe for date and rhymes. All right. Questions. Let's open it up to some questions, I guess. Man, that flew by way too fast.
Yeah.
All right.
We've got the Q&A open over here, so feel free, folks, to drop any questions that you have there in the Q&A as we are approaching the final couple minutes here. I did want to thank everyone for attending. Two QR codes here on the screen. First and foremost is a 1-minute survey to discuss what you'd like to hear out of future Accelerator series that we're going to be running. And secondly is a link to register for our reInvent recap. Trend Micro has quite a presence at reInvent this year as an executive sponsor there, as well as having a buyout of the Yardbird restaurant. There's quite a few events going on. We've got our partner brunch, as well as different thought leadership sessions. And we'll be streaming some of the keynotes to the restaurant there. So if you aren't able to attend this year, feel free to register for our recap session, where we'll talk about main takeaways from a security perspective, as well as the events that we had sponsored while we were gone.
Yep. And please, y'all take the survey as well. That's important, because like if y'all want more types of topics like this, y'all want to go longer, etc., we can make that happen. But the only way that we'll know is whether or not y'all ask for it, right? Or say, we can assume, but everybody knows what assuming is. And if you work DFIR long enough, you know exactly what assuming will get you. So just just yeah, please register, etc.
And on that topic, in terms of future looking for the series here, look forward to in Q1. I'll be running a series on our MSSP partner program. I know Wahid, you had asked the question in regards to XDR versus SOAR, and this is where we really blend the two, depending on our partner use cases. So variety of our different partners, whether they be traditional channel partners within the reselling space or some of our next gen partners that are focusing on services, whether it be generalized IT service management or security specific services. We have the technologies to help accelerate you, whether you're already offering MDR or SOC as a service and you're looking to modernize your stack or consolidate some of your products. Or if you're looking to get your foot in the door and grow within those spaces, we also have our MSP program as well, which gives you more of a co-managed solution. So be on the lookout for registration for that event. Like I said, early in Q1, we'll start talking about our MSSP program and the different options available to you all there.
Yeah.
But Chris, thanks so much for walking us through that. I think main takeaway from me was, one, the simplicity of use. Two, how quick you were able to get through a lot of that stuff. It doesn't seem like a complex tool to use, even for someone like myself who's not technical. And it seemed like the speed of getting someone set up was very, very quick. And I know from experience working on the sales end, when a customer needs help, they need help immediately. And a lot of times as a partner or as a seller, the first one to respond is typically the one who's going to gain the business. So having that ability to get in there quickly, I think is huge. So thanks for walking us through that, Chris.
Absolutely. And feel free, everyone, to reach out, and you can reach out directly to me or to Jake. If y'all are interested in doing anything else with the DFIR partner program or the MSSP program.
Awesome.
Right. And we do have a question.
All right, Jeff. His question is in regards to AI.
Yeah. So yes, we do have an AI companion. It is built into the Trend Vision One platform. I just didn't demo it. But it is there. It just yeah, I mean it's a little bubble. I just have it closed off right now inside my console because the little bubble gets in my way sometimes. But that's just because I know where I need to go at and things like that. But it actually works pretty well. I actually had to ask it today something, and it corrected me on where I was looking for. So it does help. So there is AI capabilities. If
you're interested in a working session or a deeper demo, I dropped Chris's email in the chat as well. So feel free to reach out to one of us and we can get you set up.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank y'all for joining us.
Thanks, everybody. Enjoy the holidays. Hopefully we'll see you soon. Thanks, Chris.
Thanks.